An Oklahoma education official thinks that you should leave race out of the discussion of the Tulsa race massacre.
I would never tell a kid that because of your race, because of your color of your skin, or your gender, or anything like that, you are less of a person or are inherently racist. That doesn't mean you don't judge the actions of individuals. Oh, you can absolutely. Historically, you should. This was right. This was wrong. They did this for this reason. But to say it was inherent in that because of their skin is where I say that is critical race theory. You're saying that a race defines a person. I reject that. So I would say you be judgmental of the issue, of the action, of the content, of the character of the individual. Absolutely. But let's not tie it to the skin color and say that the skin color determined it.
One more follow-up. How does the Tulsa Race Massacre not fall under your definition of CRT?
I answered it. That's my answer. And again, I feel
The
like
Tulsa Race Massacre was a race massacre. How does it not fall under CRT?
I've answered your question. I do appreciate very respectful.
The 100 years of silence was about race. How does that not fall? How does that not qualify for CRT?
I appreciate your question.
No, I'm pretty sure he did not appreciate that question.
That was great.
Because he didn't want to answer it. Mike, I'm gonna let you take first crack at this. What do you think?
First of all, the dude is a snowflake. Very afraid that, people are going to catch feelings if we talk about the reality of this country. But this is the least surprising thing to hear a Republican say. Till this day, they still claim that the Civil War was not about slavery. It was a states' rights issue. Okay, but what were those rights that were being fought over, you dummies?
Yeah, states' rights. Which rights?
Yeah.
Which rights, motherfucker?
Go one step further and explain to us. So this is exactly what they've been doing. They've been trying to cleanse history of the ugly, racist nature. And it's just, they've used a new slogan to try to push this, which is CRT. That's the new boogeyman word. Mm-hmm. But it is the oldest trick in the book, right?
Absolutely. It absolutely is the oldest trick in the book. And here's the thing, right? So, look, when we talk about Tulsa Race Massacre, just to give a little bit of a history, right? This is where mobs of armed racist white people went in and burned a thriving black neighborhood known as Black Wall Street to the ground. They were mad. They caught feelings that people that were living in that area actually were building an incredibly thriving economy, a very successful local economy, and had amassed wealth and political power. Those are the two things that racists fear the most. Mm-hmm. When, minorities amass wealth and political power. The KKK was, again, originally founded to not let people, freedmen, vote. That was their whole purpose, is to prevent them from exercising their political power. And so this is not an accident here. And so, yes, these mobs had to go and burn that to the ground to prove their, racial superiority? I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say it goes back to this whole feeling of other people's equality feels like oppression to the privileged, right? Because in the event, Black people accumulated wealth and power in this country, that they feel as if that is a zero-sum game that takes away from them. It's a reason why we can't even have the barest minimum of Band-Aid fixes, like affirmative action, that was struck down a couple of weeks ago. Because if we allow equal acceptance, or it's not to even call it equal acceptance is way too charitable. If we just open the door to recognize the historical exclusion of Black people and maybe take that into account with admissions in addition to a bunch of other things, then that's going to open the door to, white people being racism against white people or something. Like it's completely irrational, and it stems from white supremacy.
Absolutely. And it just makes me wonder, wait, are you the superior race or not?
They must be very sensitive, because if the smallest amount of equality threatens
Right.
them, and they think that that's a genocide, then they're proving how fucking unspecial they are.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like you're the superior anything. But again, getting back to how this guy, he's like, oh no, race, no, I don't want to talk about race. Oh no,
Can't let that happen.
mm-mm. No, look. By the way, not only were the mobs, again, white racists, but they were also helped by law enforcement.
Right.
They were
Right.
deputized and armed by city officials to go and
Mhm.
murder black people and burn their homes, raise their city. And this happened over the course of a couple of days. How could you not mention race being a motivating factor in this massacre?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
only do it when you're trying to erase history.
yeah, very, very well said. Yeah. White people make everything, like, our country has been about race from the very beginning, right? So for them to remove that part of the story, it's like trying to tell Star Wars without Luke Skywalker.
Right.
You don't get the whole story. Like, it is baked into our history. And when I say history, I mean history and present, right? Because things are still bad, very much so. So people, I wish that people wouldn't fall for these schemes to try to dupe them, right? The whole, oh, well, if we talk about race, my kid's going to think that they're racist. No, I think your kid's going to be fine, right? I mean, it's going to make my kid feel bad. If your kid, it feels bad from that, then you are failing as a parent to educate them. Your kid needs to know about how white privilege affects them. Your kid needs to know about history. Otherwise, nothing's going to change in this country. But that's what they want, though.
That's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of change. They're afraid of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
They're afraid kids going to hear about this stuff and go, oh wow, that was horrible. I don't want that to happen again. How do we prevent that from happening? And that's the thing that they're ultimately afraid of, and why they want to leave discussions about, for example, critical race theory, which does, it's not even taught in K through 12 education. And that's another, gigantic lie. Critical race theory it's pretty much been it doesn't have meaning anymore. The original meaning has been changed, just like the meaning of socialism. They've changed these words to mean things that they don't actually mean and never were meant to mean. But that's what they have done. And by the way, just let me point out this guy's name, who this is. This is Ryan Walters, okay? And he had served as the state secretary of education, and has pushed once again to ban critical race theory, which wasn't actually being taught once again in these schools, but they don't care. He also, by the way, had called for schools to promote Christianity in the classroom. So that's and including by displaying the 10 Commandments, as well as talking about Western heritage. So that's who this guy is. In case you think that we were being a little unfair, no, we know exactly who he is. He is a racist. And only racists want to remove any mentions of race from things like, I don't know, the Tulsa Race Massacre, and try to erase history as it actually happened, in order to try to sanitize it and to make people like himself racists who are afraid of being called racist. To prevent the true history from coming out, to allow them to manipulate past events in order to help their current objectives, which is for them to stay on top.
Yeah, I mean, education is the one of the biggest weapons, for the working class and marginalized people. And there's a reason why they're trying to suppress what we learn, what we know, what we teach in schools, because ignorance is very, very powerful, right? So that's why they do it.